She had everything. Fame, magazine covers. A scene that made her a household name overnight. Millions of people saw her face and thought they knew exactly who she was. Then, at the height of her success, she simply stopped. No big goodbye. No dramatic announcement. She just walked away. She married a man who would go on to win 2 Academy Awards, and she never came back to the spotlight the same way again. So what really happened to Phoebe Cates? The answer is not what you think. Phoebe Cates was born in New York City in the summer of 1963. Her father worked as a television producer and studio executive. Her uncle spent years producing the Academy Awards show itself. So from a very young age, she was surrounded by cameras, scripts, and famous faces. It would have been easy for people to assume she had everything handed to her. But that was not the full story. Even as a child, she was serious and focused. She was not chasing attention. She was chasing skill. Long before anyone knew her name, she was already working hard towards something bigger than fame. As a young girl, Phoebe dreamed of becoming a professional dancer. She trained hard at one of the most respected ballet schools in the country, spending countless hours perfecting every movement. She truly believed this would be her future. But then, in her teenage years, everything changed in an instant. She suffered a serious knee injury, one that made her dancing dream impossible to continue. It would have been easy to give up completely. Instead, she found a new path. She moved into modeling, and by the time she was just 14 years old, she was already appearing in major magazines. On the outside, it looked glamorous, but she felt something was missing. She later admitted the work made her feel like an object on display, not a real person. She had the looks the industry wanted, but not the purpose she was searching for. So once again, she made a bold decision. She decided to try something completely new. She decided to act. Her very first movie role came in 1982 in a tropical drama that got people talking. It was not a huge hit, but it opened a door. That same year, she landed a part in a teen comedy that would change her life forever. The film became an instant classic, loved by an entire generation. In it, she played a confident, easygoing character who gave advice to her friends about life and love. One scene from that movie became one of the most talked about moments in film history. Almost overnight, her face was everywhere. Magazine covers, interviews, posters on bedroom walls across the country. She had become a symbol of that decade, whether she wanted to or not. But underneath all that attention was something people did not always notice. She brought real warmth and honesty to her character. She was not just a pretty face on screen. She had heart, and that heart is exactly what made audiences fall in love with her. Just 2 years later, she took on a role that surprised everyone. It was a family adventure film, filled with strange creatures, chaos, and dark humor. She played the calm, grounded character at the center of all the madness. But one moment in that film stood out above everything else. Her character shared a story about how her father had died in a tragic and unexpected way. It was dark, it was sad, and it was delivered with a quiet, heartbreaking calm that nobody expected in a movie made for families. In the middle of a fun, silly monster movie, she gave one of the most powerful and unforgettable moments of the entire decade. That single scene proved something important. She was not just there to look good on screen. She had real talent, real depth, and the ability to make people feel something deep, even in the strangest of stories. For a while, she kept working. More films, more roles. She worked alongside big stars and respected directors, staying busy and staying visible. But something was slowly changing. While other actresses her age were chasing bigger deals and bigger fame, she was not. The drive that pushed most people in Hollywood just was not there for her the same way anymore. She still took roles here and there, some strange, some small, some that only a certain kind of audience would ever love. But you could feel it happening. A shift, a quiet pulling away from the spotlight, one small step at a time. Nobody noticed it happening in real time. It was only looking back that people realized something big was coming. Then came the real turning point. She married a talented actor, a man she had actually met years earlier during an audition she did not even get. Despite a big difference in their ages, something between them just worked. They stayed together, and their marriage lasted for decades. As his career kept rising, eventually earning him 2 Academy Awards, she made a quiet but powerful decision. She chose to step back and focus on raising their children. There was no public fight, no scandal, no dramatic exit interview. It was simply an agreement between 2 people who loved each other. Whoever had more free time would stay home with the kids. And since his career stayed busy and demanding, she was the one who stepped away. It was not about giving up. It was about choosing what mattered most to her. For the first time in years, fame was no longer the center of her life. Family was. Years later, she found a new way to express herself, far away from movie sets and film studios. She opened a small shop in New York City, filled with unique jewelry, art books, and unusual little treasures from around the world. It was not a celebrity side project run by someone else. She built it herself. She chose every item on the shelves. Over the years, she has been offered many chances to return to acting. Every single time, she has politely said no. For her, fame was never really the goal. She had already found what mattered most to her, and once she found it, she held on to it without ever looking back. So, what really happened to Phoebe Cates? She did not disappear. She simply changed direction. In just a handful of films, she left a mark that lasted far longer than most careers, filled with hundreds of movies. She gave audiences unforgettable moments, shaped an entire generation's memories, and then quietly built a life full of meaning, far away from cameras and crowds. She never needed a comeback because she never truly left. She just knew exactly when to walk away, and she did it on her own terms. And maybe that is the most powerful ending any story like this can have.